Hello everybody, welcome back to another ASMR video. We're going back, well not exactly back, but to a similar style that I did for my first ever video where I was reading SCP files, and now I'm in the Backrooms wiki. And no, if you've ever seen a style like this with this same mic thing, I'm not copying any other ASMR artist. Today I'm going to be reading this, and I'm going to be going through a couple, maybe just 2 or 3, because these take a while to get through, and I stutter a lot when I try to read. So I hope you guys enjoy this video, and let's get into it. This is level 117. Here is an image. I will enlarge it and put it on screen for you here. Level 117 consists of a seemingly infinite number of rooms. These rooms are connected directly through doorways and resemble school classrooms. The rooms are very similar in design with slight variations, often featuring chalkboards, desks, and cabinets. Occasionally, school supplies such as pencils and binders can be found around the level. The level is lit by lighting fixtures in the ceiling, some of which are burnt out. Level 117 has an 18-hour day-night cycle, with 7 hours dedicated to day and 11 dedicated to nighttime. During the nighttime, all of the lighting fixtures will switch off and janitors will begin to roam the halls. I did some research. I could not find images of janitors, so you'll get an auditory description here in a minute. Smilers can occasionally be seen in the darker corners of level 117, but are rarely seen at night. Some reports say that this is because they are afraid of the janitors, but this is not confirmed. Aside from the Smilers, there are 2 main entities that can be found at level 117. The janitors and an entity who calls himself Mr. Freeman. Mr. Freeman, entity number 91. Mr. Freeman appears to be a Caucasian male of average height with short gray hair and receding hairline. He is always seen wearing a tweed suit and wire-rimmed spectacles. Although Mr. Freeman is only known to be on level 117, there have been several unconfirmed sightings of him on other floors. Some say there is more than one identical Mr. Freeman. These reports are unconfirmed. Mr. Freeman can occasionally be seen during the daytime teaching in empty rooms at level 117. This usually consists of the entity giving lectures about topics found in high school level algebra and geometry classes to the empty classroom. Mr. Freeman is friendly to wanderers and may invite them to listen to his lecture if he sees them. Okay, my hair is not wanting to behave at all whatsoever, but it is what it is. I'm just gonna have to be blind. Anyway, sorry for the interruption, I'll get back to it. Janitors are the most common entity found on level 117. They appear as shadowy figures wearing navy blue uniforms and carrying flashlights. Janitors also often carry around large brooms and trash cans and will sweep the floors of the classrooms. They will not react to wanderers unless the wanderers get very close. When a wanderer gets close to a janitor, the janitor will quickly engulf that person in shadow. Afterwards, the janitor will return to cleaning duties with the person no longer there. It is unknown what happens to people engulfed by janitors, but there have been several unconfirmed reports of these people reappearing as students in level 52. Because of janitors, it is inadvisable to visit level 117 during the nighttime. There are no bases on 117. The primary method of reaching 117 is by entering classrooms in level 83, which very occasionally leads to level 117. Some people have also had success entering through level 18, but this is not reliable. Some rooms in level 117 contain cupboards labeled calculators. When entered, they lead to level 4. There are also reports of no clipping through the walls to reach level 190, but this is not yet confirmed. Red doors can also be found rarely throughout the level. When entered, these lead to 74. This is level 97, the lighthouse. Unsafe, unsecure with a low entity count. The explored portion of level 97 consists of a small island surrounded by a saltwater ocean. This island is covered mostly with overgrown grass as well as some moss-covered rocks. Scattered throughout the islands are a number of weathered gravestones. Occasionally new gravestones will appear, though this is a rare occurrence. Level 97 has no day-night cycle and always appears to be nighttime. The sky is starless, but a large crescent moon can always be seen in the sky. There are no clouds or precipitation, but level 97 is always covered with a thick fog. In the center of the island is a large white lighthouse. Because of the nature of level 97, the interior of the lighthouse has not been explored. The light at the top is always shining and slowly spins around, breaking the fog. Any object that the light shines on will be destroyed through unknown means. The ocean surrounding the island stretches as far as the eye can see, and although it is extremely deep, it has been confirmed not to be bottomless. Offshore of the island is an 18th century sailboat that seems to be frozen in place, with no movement occurring from the waves because the ship is relatively safe in comparison to the rest of level 97. The Meg has set up a small outpost there. Populating the island in level 97 are several humanoid entities known as ghouls. These ghouls resemble corpses in a state of extreme decomposition. When a ghoul meets a wanderer, they will walk towards them. Although they can be outrun, there are many of them, so it's easy to get cornered. For this reason, it is not advised to go on the island. If a ghoul catches someone, they grab onto them with a strong grip, holding them in place. When this happens, the lighthouse's light will stop shining and point downward towards the wanderer, killing them. Level 97 can be entered through random doors in level 17, or hallways in level 532. Clipping through certain walls on the ship can lead to level 100. The ship is also home to a single door that leads to level 372. Level 33. Unsafe, secure with a low entity count. Level 33 seems to be an empty shopping mall. Most of the stores are owned by major corporations from the real world, but usually have few products in stock or are completely empty. Some stores are closed off by a gate that currently has no known way to open. More often than not, the food courts will be empty, but there's a chance that you will come across a food court or a store that has a full stock. When you first enter, there is a very low chance you will encounter a hound, duller, or a few death rats, or even a skin stealer. But as you go a dozen miles into the store, the entities, as well as other ones, will start appearing more often. The mall will progressively become more worn down the farther you travel. Water will begin appearing to flood the level. The lights will start flickering to the point where they simply won't turn on anymore. And the effect on your mental state will begin getting worse as the mall starts to have mold, plants grow over, and metal starts to corrode. There are no known bases here. When you enter, the walls will be entirely clean as well as the tiled floor. The floor is completely dry, lights never flicker, and you are very unlikely to encounter any other creatures. 50 miles in, the corrosion state will activate, causing the walls to have mold. Few tiles on the floor are missing, lights flicker every few hours, and you'll begin feeling uneasy and constantly watched. Due to the effect, occasional auditory hallucinations are possible. More and more death rats start to roam the wet floors, and smilers can now be spotted in darker areas. 100 miles in, parts of wallpaper on the walls will appear to be ripped off. The mold can cover large areas of the wall. Grass starts growing from cracks in the dry parts of the floor. Water starts filling up to 2 inches above the floor. Lights begin flickering every few miles in, any wallpaper will be ripped off entirely. Mold will appear covering the walls. Moss will be hanging from the ceiling. The water level will heighten now to up to 2 feet above the floor. Lights will constantly flicker and can turn off and remain that way for several minutes. Effects on the human mind are equivalent to those in level 6, making you go insane faster depending on your personality, sometimes driving you to suicide. Auditory and visual hallucinations will become commonplace, and there's a very low chance that one of these hallucinations can physically hurt or injure you. Entities, especially anithicas death threats and smilers will be very common. 300 miles in, the walls will be ripped and damaged, almost like a bomb explosion. There will be grasses growing up from the floor, and the water can be up to 5 feet. Lights will be off, but flicker on every few hours. The hallucinations will try to fool you into deadly traps. 500 miles in, the floor and lights will be non-existent, but there will be fires from the ground. If you make it this far, be warned, as the hallucinations will most likely try to physically injure you. Entities are always waiting for you to look up to the ceiling. 750 miles in, the walls appear to be pipes. If you look anywhere but forward, there are entities. Hallucinations are no longer hallucinations. Fires and water from the ground somehow. Don't ask me how that works. Fires and water from the ground and ivy everywhere. An unknown individual reportedly traveled 1,000 miles in. The level was described at that point as 23-foot weeds, black voids for walls, with the occasionally broken and corroded pipe, an interior that was all simple, indescribable chaos. He was later chased back by a group of about 200 extremely aggressive entities. He advised to go no further, but attempts are being made. The only known ways are to enter a shopping center or a mall in level 11, or go upstairs at level 22. If you entered from level 11, go back through the doors you entered from. If you came from level 22, go back down the stairs behind you. You can also get to level 45 by entering an office entranceway. I am feeling sick, so I will continue recording tomorrow. If I don't, I'll record at least an outro. So, we'll see what happens. I'm back. Level 45 is an inky void, sparsely populated by floating skyscrapers that appear to be near exact copies of the buildings that can be found in the front rooms. The exact number of skyscrapers that have been discovered so far is 33. These skyscrapers are arranged in a radial pattern, centering around a building which is structurally identical to the Empire State Building of the front rooms, New York City. Buildings close to the center of this radial pattern have a constant flow of electricity and are completely free of entities, other than those brought in by the PRC, while buildings further out have frequent blackouts and infestations of death moths. The population of the death moths are kept in check by level 45's other native entity, the I'm not even gonna try to pronounce that bird. These creatures float through the abyss and create almost star-like pattern of yellow bioluminescent lights. Each skyscraper in level 45 creates its own local field of gravity that is relative to the orientation of the structure. Any object that is thrown out of the building will float weightlessly until it comes to the influence of another skyscraper's gravity. It should be noted that this weightless effect does not extend to most living things. If a human or an entity were to drop off the edge of one of these skyscrapers, they would continue to be affected by gravity in the direction of the skyscraper which they had just exited. Unless intercepted, they would proceed to fall into the abyss, and from this point it is unknown what becomes of them. Probably no more exists. Do not know. floors of each building are fully furnished with what is assumed to be exactly what is inside each building when it was copied. This includes everything from computers to water coolers to houseplants and more. Unfortunately, none of this is actually functional as close to inspection. Reveals every item to be elaborate styrofoam sculptures. This has necessitated any groups looking to take advantage of the relative safety of level 45 to bring their own equipment from other areas of the backrooms. Currently, the only way to safely travel between buildings are through fire escapes rather than leading outside. Each fire escape acts as a consistent gateway to a nearby skyscraper. Level 45 is the main outpost of the BRC. The community is composed of many labs and offices inside the faux Empire State Building dedicated to general research of backroom phenomena. The lower floors of the HQ